So do PSG own Barcelona? Do Galatasaray have one of their biggest victories in like the last 5 to 10 years? Atletico, I got five on it. That's all they're playing in the changing room right now. Simeone just has, I got five on it. Can we play football every day? Because Atleti right now are unstoppable when it comes to the attack. We're going to talk about that game. We're going to talk about Rasmus Hojlund having a double and securing a vital victory for Napoli. We're going to talk about all the games here on the UCL RECAP Matchday 2. We're going to do this for every single UCL Matchday for the league phase. And then we're going to talk about the knockout playoffs. Then we're going to talk about the round of 16 quarterfinal. You guys get the drift here. So if you love UCL content, remember to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button right now. And let me know your thoughts. What was your biggest takeaway from this UCL week? Which team surprised you the most? Which team was the most disappointing? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. And most importantly, is to subscribe if you are new around here. Big up to Shivam. How are you doing? Hopefully you're doing well. Big up to Mo as well in the chat. Shout out to everybody. It's been an exhilarating week. I mean, it's very exhausting for me considering that the games are on late for me. But, I mean, I can't complain. Look at the Asian football fans. Look at what time they have to wake up to watch these games. Incredible commitment by them. And big up to Ibrahim Diallo says, most disappointing team, Liverpool. Yeah, we could say that. We definitely could say that. Big up to Qarabag. It's crazy. I will talk about all the teams, people. So let's get straight into the games. And we first start off with Atalanta getting some revenge on Club Brugge, and they needed this victory. And they didn't play the greatest, I thought, until like the 60th minute. Then they made a couple changes. Juric, very good in-game management, and they got the result. That was the biggest thing for Atalanta. If they lost this game to Club Brugge, I think their league phase would have been done, and they could have already packed their bags and said good night to this UCL campaign. But they came back and won the victory. I think for Club Brugge, they got to be a little bit disappointed because they created a lot of good chances in the game. Obviously, Jolis's goal was insane into the bottom right corner. If you guys didn't watch this game, this is why I love the early kickoffs, and especially these sort of matchups like Serie A, Belgian Pro League, and maybe Bundesliga up against, I don't know, La Liga or another side. Like, these games are always entertaining because both teams know, oh, we got to win this game. We see the opponent, we can say to ourselves, we have a chance of winning this game. And for Atalanta, they came back into the game. Now, the penalty, a little bit questionable on the side of, was it really a penalty? Was it not? But, you know, Atalanta got the fortunate bounce for them. They got the penalty. Then, obviously, Pasalic with the goal. I think now Pasalic is the all-time goal scorer for Atalanta in the Champions League. So, shout out to Pasalic. How long has he been there for? Like 5-6 years? I always see Pasalic just coming up with clutch goals in the Champions League. But, yeah, for Atalanta, I don't think they've still played the best football possible. Bellanova is just such a, how do we say, a one-trick pony. He just wants the ball, take it on the outside, and trying to use his pace. When he doesn't have that ability, or when the defender just locks him down in that situation, Bellanova has no other trick up his sleeve. So it's kind of one-dimensional with this Atalanta side still, but most important thing is they got the victory. It doesn't matter how you play in the league phase. Just get the 3 points and move on. I feel like for Club Brugge, they missed Simon Mignolet in this game. Obviously, he's out with an injury. And that was a little bit of a big miss because Simon Mignolet, experienced goalkeeper, I don't think he would have made that same mistake as the youngster in net did. So Atalanta took advantage of it. They get the victory. Boom. We move on. Then we move on to Real Madrid 5-0 over Kairat. Obviously, atmosphere-wise, the game being in Kazakhstan, what a sensational moment for Kairat and Kazakh football. But they started off well. They came out with all the Red Bull in their system for the first 10 minutes. They felt the exhilaration. They were like, yes, this is our opportunity to make a statement in the Champions League. And then it just all went flat. It all went flat as soon as Mbappe just said, okay, enough playing around here. Let's do the job. Let's get done with it. And Mbappe, he has a hat trick. I mean, this guy right now is unstoppable, Mbappe. I know there was so much criticism for him last season when it came to his overall play, but yeah, this season, I think it was the second goal. I think it was when Thibaut Courtois just played a long ball over the top and Mbappe with a wonderful chip over the goalkeeper. And yeah, there's nothing Kairat can do. They can play well for about 10 minutes, but the sheer quality difference between the two sides was so evident after 15 minutes. There's no takeaways here for Real Madrid. They got the job done. They scored 5 goals. For Kairat, you're just going to have to, I think they're still going to play Olympiacos at home. That's the game Kairat have to win, or at least get a draw if they want to get any points in this league phase. Otherwise, they're going to face the same demise as Slovan Bratislava last year and pick up 0 points. But yeah, Kylian Mbappe is in great form, as we already knew that, and Real Madrid are an insanely talented team compared to Kairat. So good game for about 20 minutes, and then it was just so one-sided. Just so one-sided. Arda Güler is such a brilliant player. When him and Masterclass are on the same field, I feel like then Real Madrid have so many chance creation guys. Then you can create a chance for Masterclass. Then Güler can create a chance. There's so many variables with this team that it makes a dangerous team. And then you have Vinny on the left side. So, yeah, Vinny's not having a good day. Maybe in the past, that could have been a huge problem for Real Madrid. But now that they have Arda Güler, a Masterclass injected into this team, hey, Real Madrid, they are firing on all cylinders. I know they had a bad weekend losing to Atleti and conceding 5, but they bounced back, and now let's see what they do over the weekend. I think Real Madrid are playing Villarreal, if I'm not mistaken. That's a game where if you're Real Madrid, you're going to be defensively tested because we know Villarreal, and I'll talk about them later. So, yeah, 5-0, not much takeaways here for Real Madrid. And same thing for Bayern Munich, 5-1. I mean, these guys are on smoke right now, and they've had an absolutely insane start to this season, Bayern Munich, but it's difficult. Okay, they beat Chelsea at home, and I think they were unbelievable in the second half. Obviously, then they're playing Pavos, and again, it's the same thing as like a Kairat for Real Madrid. You can't have any takeaways here for Bayern Munich because they are so good. Nico Jackson getting a goal, good link-up play. He had some parts in this matchup. I didn't get to watch this game. I'm only judging by the highlights. So, Harry Kane, I mean, again, what do we say about Harry Kane? Harry Kane, Kylian Mbappe, Erling Braut Haaland, Julian Alvarez. These 4 strikers right now on smoke. Nobody can stop them at the moment. And now it's a mere question of, can they keep this consistency throughout the entire season? If they can do that, we're going to see some insane numbers by these strikers. And everybody talking about, strikers are dead. Where are the strikers? Where's my Batistuta and all this sort of stuff? No. You got a Harry Kane right here. Harry Kane is a prime example of a guy who just gets numbers. You know how there's in the NBA, he just gets buckets. Harry Kane, he just gets goals. Nobody questions it. Nobody, he gets in the Bundesliga. No. He does it against Pavos. Harry Kane does it against everybody. People need to respect that. And now you can see this team. They're starting to gel. While I still have question marks defensively about the team, and obviously Orsic scored a ridiculous goal. I mean, there's nothing Bayern Munich could have done about that Orsic goal because it was simply amazing. I do still worry about the defensively if Bayern Munich can win this Champions League, but the attack right now is the top 2 attack in Europe. It's up there with Barcelona. It's up there with PSG. It's up there with, if you want to put like an Arsenal, if you want to put a, I don't know who else, Man City, if you want to put Real Madrid, Bayern Munich are in that conversation as well, probably having the best attack in all of Europe. But yeah, Pavos, at least they got a goal. They got their first ever Champions League goal, and of course it was going to be Orsic with the screamer because that's what Orsic does. He did that against Tottenham when he scored the hat-trick to knock out Jose and Spurs, and now Orsic does it again to score for Pavos and their only goal. So yeah, I think Pavos and Kairat, they're in for a long Champions League season. If they can get any points, I think that's a massive plus for them. Massive plus. Big up to X-Style. How are you doing? Yep. Shout out, Jeff. What a goal by Orsic, 100%. Does the offer still count for Netherlands versus Finland? Jeff, I am not watch along for that game. Not doing a watch along. Hiroki Ito's return will help Bayern defensively, I think. Yeah, when he returns, but the key is to get Alphonso Davies back. When Davies and Musiala return to this team, with the way Luis Diaz is playing, with Olise, with Harry Kane, then you got Musiala, Kimmich. Oh my God, with Pavlovic. Now, Bayern Munich got a sensational team. I just worry about them defensively because they're gonna take risks. Now it's about how can they eliminate the mistakes? How can they be defensively organized against top teams around Europe? Obviously, they showcased it against Chelsea, but that's only one game. A team that are now on fire after having a lot of question marks and about 500 gazillion crisis videos, Atleti have scored back-to-back games 5 goals. They scored 3 against Rayo, 5 against Real Madrid, 5 against Eintracht Frankfurt. Now, I did say this game would be chaotic and that there was going to be goals. I did say there would be 6 goals. I think I predicted 4-2 for Atleti, 5-1. And to be honest, Atleti didn't give Frankfurt any chances. I thought Frankfurt really poor on the day. But I think that's more because Atleti were absolutely sensational going forward. I mean, Hojlund and Griezmann, when they're linking up, Shaq and Kobe time. I know Griezmann's had a very poor 2025. We could all see it. He was unbelievable until like November, December last year. And then after that, yeah, it just kind of fell off with his form. But Griezmann and Hojlund, they just know football, people. Football. When you have those sort of players on the field where you don't need a system and, oh, you need to be here to receive the ball. No, natural ability, natural thinking off the ball, natural ability on the ball. That's what Julian has. That's what obviously Griezmann has. And if Simeone can just keep on running like he does, the guy has no technical ability. If he had technical ability, Simeone would be one of the dangerous wingers in Europe. But because of his lack of finishing and he just has no sort of confidence on his left foot, Simeone is just going to be very one-dimensional. But as long as he works hard off the ball, and I mean, that's going to be a guarantee with that Atleti player, and especially if your last name is Simeone, you're going to have Giuliano Simeone on the field. But I thought he was great on the day, and every player for Atleti were sensational. Len Omad scored again for them. It's just about, okay, how can you bring on Alex Baena into this team? How do you integrate him into this side? Because he didn't get any minutes in this game. When Alex Baena then gets onto the field with Julian and Griezmann, cinema, people. It's Lord of the Rings loading up here for Atleti. I think for Eintracht Frankfurt, they were just so poor defensively. They could not get anything going forward. Nothing from Uzun. I mean, Jonathan Borkat had a pretty good second half, but first half, he was quiet. So I think Atleti really just nullified completely Eintracht Frankfurt in this matchup. So it's a little bit disappointing for Eintracht Frankfurt. But again, they're like other teams around Europe, very bipolar. Going to be amazing on the day, or then they could be really, really god-awful. Eintracht Frankfurt were god-awful on the day, and Atleti were sensational, and they took advantage of it. I feel like this was a game where Atleti last season would have lost. Remember, they lost to Lille at home in the Champions League. They've had these weird sort of games, Atleti, but they bounced back really well after the Liverpool loss. They bounced back after some really subpar performances throughout this season, and scoring 5 in back-to-back games just shows you, as long as you have Julian, Griezmann, Sorloth, Alex Baena. Yeah, somebody mentioned as well Thiago Almada. I mean, the options that Simeone has going forward, and everybody can get away from this idea. Oh, Simeone plays negative football, haram ball. That's long gone. It's been gone now for the 2 seasons. Simeone is trying to play new football, just trying to play a style that I think every neutral can appreciate. Obviously, when he's going to go up against a Barcelona, going up against a Real Madrid, he might sit back for about 30 minutes, 40 minutes. That could be a natural thing because that's still in the DNA of Simeone. But you can see when they're going forward, just the sheer sort of one-touch football and the amount of runs off the ball to give an option to a Barrios, for an option for a Koke, for a Griezmann to find a pass. And it's actually really wonderful to watch Atleti play football right now. If they can just keep doing this, and I mean, if Julian just keeps the way he's playing, because the guy is sensational. I love Julian. He tried that Panenka, and it didn't quite work out. He got lucky there, because if that didn't work out, he would have been off the penalty duties. No idea how we're going to score the next goal. I think this is about Liverpool. We'll talk about that, Zane. Man City should win yesterday. We'll talk about that. We are amazing at home. We should have scored more goals. Pablo Barrios is so silky in the midfield. I love Barrios, man. Sometimes it's a little bit like Barrios is not really engaged into the matchup. Like, which game was it? There was a really poor game that he had. I think it was the Liverpool game where Barrios was really poor. But when Barrios locks in, special midfielder for me. Big up Triple. How are you doing? We dominated Real Madrid. We just managed the game after 4-2. Yep, agreed. Real ball is Bordalas. Hey, Bordalas will do Bordalas. And yeah, Raspadori got his first UCL goal. And I would say that Raspadori, for the first about 25, 30 minutes, hey, he was looking like Del Piero and Totti out there. And I'm not a big fan of Raspadori because I think he's a good bench option. Like, if you need to get a goal, you can bring on a Raspadori. But Raspadori on Tuesday was also sensational for Atleti. So there's your options. We didn't even talk about Sorloth. Well, the amount of options now that Simeone has gone for. And last season, Atleti didn't have a bench. And maybe that was their demise as they were heading into the last 3 months, 4 months of the season. That's why they got knocked out of the league. There was no Champions League, out of the Copa del Rey, because they didn't have a bench. They didn't have a squad. Now they got a squad. So now I still worry about them defensively because I don't trust Lenglet one bit. Not one bit. Hansko, though, he didn't play this game, but Hansko's a baller. Absolute baller. It's about Liverpool. Yeah. Raspadori, underrated. Raspadori can actually dribble. I think Raspadori is more of a Angel Correa replacement. Oh, yeah. They're like for like. They're exactly the same player. Just one is Italian and one is Argentine. Now you got the Italian version of it. Raspadori has more...
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
If I speak, I'm in big trouble. Big trouble. Big trouble. Yeah, so great victory for Atleti. I think for Eintracht Frankfurt, just you got to bounce back. I think their next game is against Liverpool at home. If I'm a Liverpool fan, I'm not really too happy about that. I'm not too happy about that. All right, let's get to the next game. Nothing much to say here for Inter. 3-0 victory. Comfortable. I mean, Inter are just such a good side for me. No matter if they change the personnel, no matter if they change the manager, they still have quality players like a Lautaro, like a Marcus Thuram. Dumfries with an insane back heel goal, by the way, for that. What was it? Second goal for Inter. I didn't get to watch this game. I'm only judging by the highlights. I think some Inter fans are a little bit now hopeful of Christian Kivu as a manager because he's a little bit more intense with the press. There's a little bit more, not just sitting back and allowing the opponents just possession the ball and dictating play. Now, Inter are trying to take the games to the opponent, which might suit some of their players, like a Barella, like a Sucic, for example, in the midfield. So, yeah, I mean, it's comfortable victory. They were always going to beat Slavia Praha. I think I said also 3-0, 4-0. Slavia Praha, I mean, was it the first goal? This is one of my pet peeves right now in football. If you can't play out from the back, especially if you're Slavia Praha, a Slovan Bratislava, a Shakhtar Donetsk, if you're a Kairat, if you're a Pavos, if you're Olympiacos, if you don't have the ability to play out from the back, don't do it. Don't do it. It's a sin. You don't have the quality. Look, it's wonderful you're trying to play football, but you have to be smart with it. They were just getting pressed high up the field, Slavia Praha, and they said, "Oh, let's just give it to the goalkeeper." And what happens? What happens? The goalkeeper makes a horrible mistake, and they pounce on it, and Thuram gets the goal. So that's one of my pet peeves right now in football, that we have to play out from the back. You have to be better on the ball. You have to have better quality than the opponents. You have to have a goalkeeper that is comfortable in possession. And yeah, Slavia Praha, just it's a stupidity from them, really stupidity. So yeah, Inter, comfortable victory. They got much tougher opponents, but they've had a nice bounce back since that 4-3 loss to Juventus. Maybe that kind of woke up some of the players. Maybe Christian Kivu defensively was helping this team a lot more, because now you can just see this team is still rock solid defensively, and they have a lot more quality going forward, and they can still have a bench like a Boni, like an Esposito. A lot of quality for Inter. I think they'll still do well this season. Lenormand, man, every time he has to do something, he makes me panic because he tries to play safe but puts everyone in an uncomfortable position. Yeah, Lenormand is not the most, I would say, trustworthy of defenders. Even though his specialty is on the ball, his passing, dribbling, Lenormand is very good at those situations, but it always seems like he puts his his teammates in a very difficult position. So yeah, Lenormand, not great. Inter defense sucks though. I wouldn't say sucks, but it definitely needs some help. If they just replaced the Serbi in the central of the defense, they would be money for me. They would be money. All right, Chelsea then 1-0 over Benfica. Funny, look what Champions League are doing. Champions League, the Twitter account or Instagram post, whoever doing the graphics, they're trying to rage bait all the Benfica fans by putting Enzo Fernandez. I mean, the amount of abuse Enzo Fernandez got when he took the corner, and then Josie's like telling the Benfica fans, calmate. No, Benfica fans were not happy with Enzo whatsoever about that move and how that move all happened. What has that not been? I think that's been almost 3 years now since Enzo moved to Chelsea from Benfica. Oh, God damn, it's been that long so far. I don't think this was a great game. I'm going to be honest. I feel like both teams really lacking quality. I for the life of me, I don't understand. Jose, you don't play Sudakov on the left wing. Sudakov is a number 10. I saw Arsnes picking up the ball in the number 10 position. I'm like, what is going on here? Arsnes is a good squad player. Don't start him in these sort of games. Play Sudakov. I know there's not really a left-wing option here for Benfica because Sheldrup just hasn't been so consistent on this situation, but I just felt like it was a really weird move from Jose to play Sudakov on the left wing. I think it really just derailed. Yeah, he had some moments still, Sudakov, with creating chances, but yeah, it's not great. Chelsea, on the other hand, I still don't think they played great, but they got the result. I think that's the most important thing. They need to get some confidence back ahead of a big weekend ahead against Liverpool. Chelsea didn't still play good. Garnacho just gets into very good positions all the time, but his decision-making is just so poor. I mean, he's not played a lot of football games, people. They cannot be like, oh, he's inexperienced, he's a young player. How many times has Garnacho now played football? a lot of games, people. He should be better in the final third right now. He should know where his teammates are making a run. Obviously, he's in a new team, so it's a little bit difficult for Garnacho. Yeah, I didn't like his performance at all. I didn't really like Chelsea's performance, but I'm not going to derail them because they have a lot of injuries and João Pedro getting a red card. I mean, now that's what, 3 straight games Chelsea have gotten a red card. That's not great. But defensively, something that's been a little bit of Achilles heel for Chelsea the last couple of weeks. They stepped up in this game, but I think that was more because Benfica, some of the passing and some of the moves they were trying to make is just not great. Not great from a Benfica perspective, but I'm not surprised. You get rid of Bruno Lage, you bring in Jose. What do you think you're going to play? Champagne football all of a sudden? No, there has to be still an identity with this Benfica team. We don't know who the best starting 11 is. Richard Rios scores an own goal, and I kind of want to say that Richard Rios has not had the greatest start yet with Benfica. And I love the player. I think he's an absolute baller, but he needs to play a lot better. Enzo Barrenechea is a baller. That's a certain, but Richard Rios needs to step up. Pavlidis didn't really get a lot of chances in this game. So, I think it was really disappointing from a Benfica's perspective because they need to get a result in this game. I think for Chelsea, just get the 1-0 and move on. Who cares? Nobody's going to talk about this game. They're just going to see Chelsea picked up 3 points and you moved on. I think that's the most important thing for me. Thank God we got the win. I couldn't handle dropping points to my washed goat in 2025. He's not washed. Semi-washed. I wish Inter played Lautaro further back in the 10. That was one of his best positions for Inter. He's better when he participates more. Linking up the play and everything. I think still a 2-striker formation works perfectly for Lautaro. If Lautaro was a lone striker for a team, I don't think you're going to see the best of Lautaro. Now that he has a Thuram or he has a Boni or Esposito next to him, I think that works perfectly for Lautaro. I don't like the direction of how our CBs are playing. Players like Hojlund and Bastoni are forgetting to defend and trying to be wing backs. That's more because of the formation and tactically how they're set up. Also, Chelsea have had a player sent off in the last 3 games. My God. I left Bayern and now they are playing champagne football. You are cursed 100%. Samasi for Chelsea. That team is horrible to watch, to be honest. Right now they are, but I can't criticize them too much because they have a lot of injuries at the moment. There's no Cole Palmer. When there's no Cole Palmer, the football is going to be dead. It's going to be a little bit of a dreadful watch, and I don't really like Enzo Maresca and the way he talked about, there cannot be freedom, otherwise it's chaotic football. Like, look at Barcelona. Didn't Barcelona play chaotic football last year? What did they do? They won 3 trophies. Actually 4. No, 3 trophies. So chaotic football can work, Enzo Maresca. Just got to allow your players. Mudryk, Sterling, Garnacho. Is this part of the UEFA settlement? Oh my God. And how much did those combine? How much were those players combined? And Gittins, by the way. Don't forget about Gittins also, X-Tile. Mudryk was about 70 million euros. Sterling was how much? 45 million? So that's over 110 million right there. Garnacho, about 45 million. That's 150 million. Gittins, another 60 million. 200 million on 4 players. And not one of them, one is on a drug ban. The other guy is exiled like he's on Survivor or something. Garnacho, the less said, the better. And Gittins, he's a young player and he needs minutes. So it must be so frustrating for a Chelsea fan's perspective. I'm not a Chelsea fan, by the way. So if you're watching this for the first time and you're thinking, Michael, why are you ranting? I'm just infuriated by poor scouting and he needs to be Leonardo DiCaprio age. Why? Go get a player like Rafael Leao. Go get a player like Kvaratskhelia. Can you imagine those 2 players with this Chelsea team? With Cole Palmer, Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez? With João Pedro? Oh, Chelsea would be playing champagne football then. None of these guys are proven in the left wing position. Sterling you could see the decline even before he joined Chelsea. Mudryk, unproven talent. Garnacho, unproven talent. Gittins, unproven talent. So, I think that's a little bit more frustration for Chelsea right there. Jose realized that getting sacked was actually more profitable due to the severance pay. Now he's going to get another severance pay soon, by the way, with Benfica. That João Red was kind of BS, extra rest, I guess. Yeah, it was a little bit harsh on João Pedro. It's not even Palmer, it's Delap missing. João is trying to carry the whole attack. Yep, he is, 100%. But then the problem at X-Style, okay, if you want to play Delap in the team, then do you switch João Pedro to the left wing? Because then you're hampering his style of play where he wants to link up the play. Maresca struggled when Sanchez got the red card against us, Mike. Yep, he did. No, he didn't. Honestly, Chelsea would be better playing Cucurella as a wing back and using that left wing as a second 10 like Buonanotte. So kind of switching to a 3-4-3 sort of formation for Chelsea. Reece James on the right wing back position, Cucurella left wing back. Kind of play 2 10s. Yeah, I that could work. You could play like when Delap returns, play Delap as the striker, Cole Palmer, João Pedro as the 2 10s, and then but all the wingers, the Pedro Netos, all these guys, exiled, Similon, exiled. Big up, Samasi. Thank you for becoming a member. Big up to you. Welcome to the MTF Academy. Hey, if anybody wants to be a member, feel free for supporting the channel as I try and make this a job. Maybe one day, people, one day. We're already at, how many subscribers now? 26,000? 26,600 or 500, something like that. So shout out to you all, and shout out to Samasi for becoming a member. Thank you very much. Yes, we will talk about this. But remember, hit the like button, people. Hit the like button if you haven't done so already. As now I enter tears. Oh, Jesus. I'm going to just say about a minute or two on Liverpool, and then I want the rest of this analysis on Galatasaray, because I think Galatasaray deserve more of the analysis. Yeah, Liverpool were awful. Yeah, we are in the shambles. We are not looking good. The team looked dysfunctional. The team has no identity at the moment. And now, do I blame that solely on Sloth? Oh, Sloth? Yeah, he's acting like a sloth right now with his tactics. No, I don't blame that entirely on Sloth. Look at the players. Some of them are not. Konate, I don't think Kerkez was bad this game. Wirtz, I don't think he was bad this game. I'm looking at Konate. Gravenberch, I don't think he had his greatest game, but the amount of space. If Liverpool are trying to press high up the field, the amount of space they allowed Galatasaray, especially Gundogan, who we know is a very smart player, Gundogan will find a pass to break the press. So it was just so poor, the pressing from Liverpool. Nothing from Gakpo. Frimpong, even at Bayer Leverkusen, you could just see all he wants to do is take the defender on the outside. That's all he wants to do every single time. I never see Liverpool, try and create a cutback. A cutback on the edge of the box, maybe where a Wirtz would be, maybe where a McAllister or Curtis Jones would be. They never want to attempt that. It infuriates me very much. But I think people are going way overboard and saying, oh, Liverpool need to change formation. They need to change tactically. No, the players just need to step up here. There's no drive with this team at the moment. It's 2 games. And granted, the last 2 games have not been good. And obviously, you could say overall that this season hasn't been the best from Liverpool considering the sort of summer they had. But I think people are going way overboard saying, Slot, he's a fraud. Oh, he needs to change tactically. Oh, this team is not good enough. Come on, man. I mean, why can't you just praise Crystal Palace? Crystal Palace absolutely dunked on this team. It should have been 5-1 at halftime, or 5-0, at halftime. Why can't you just praise Galatasaray and say, hey, these guys were just physically dominant. Absolutely dominant, from Davinson Sanchez to Lemina to Lucas Torreira, who's an absolute pest, but worked perfectly in this game. So yeah, Liverpool didn't show up on the day, and we know going away to Galatasaray, it's always going to be tough. That's why they say, welcome to hell. Yeah, it's going to be hell when you play there, 1, with the noise, and 2, with the players, because some of the players, they know exactly what they need to do. So for a Liverpool perspective, yeah, they don't look good right now. They don't even look like a top 10 team in Europe. Napoli look better. Frankfurt look better. Dortmund look better. Bayern Munich look better. I can go on and on. Villarreal look better. Real Madrid, Barcelona, PSG, Marseille are looking better than Liverpool. I'm going to be patient. I've always been sort of a patient person with these sort of things. The example I always give is look at the Miami Heat from 10-11 season. When they signed Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, go look at their start, people. Go look at the start. And you tell me, did that team instantly click? Did that team instantly play the most dominant basketball we've ever seen? No, it takes time. Now, if this sort of performances continue until January, February, oh yeah, then I would be very much concerned about Liverpool. But I think it's just sort of modern sort of ideas, and maybe obviously some very passionate fans are just a little bit worried, where yes, I can understand if you're a little bit worried about the whole situation for Liverpool, but Slot just needs to find his best 11. It's as simple as that. He needs to figure out how to play Wirtz. He needs to figure out how to incorporate, I still think, McAllister and obviously Gravenberch. So yeah, it's going to be a work in progress for this Liverpool team, but rivals, neutrals, they won't care. You know what they will care about? You spend almost 500 million this summer. You need to make it work. And that's why Slot is paid the big bucks. That's why players like Salah, Van Dijk get crazy high wages on their contracts to perform. If you're not performing, you're going to be criticized. So now Liverpool players and Slot, they got to wake up here. They have to wake up. So, yeah, poor performance from Liverpool. Galatasaray, shout out to them because heading into this game, they had won a grand total of 3 games in the last 33 Champions League games, people. 3. Do you know how poor that is? That is so poor for a fan base like Galatasaray, how passionate they are. Massive, massive club around Europe. For Galatasaray to be performing like that around Europe, you know what Galatasaray need to do, people? They just need to play Premier League teams. Because the last 2 victories they've had in the Champions League, Old Trafford away, Liverpool at home. Maybe that's the key. Maybe Galatasaray just need to play only against Premier League teams, and they would be Champions League winners. That's the key. But I think they definitely figured out what to do. They couldn't play chaotic ball. They couldn't play just, Marcelo Bielsa sort of ball where everybody's just running around like they did against Frankfurt, running around. No. Galatasaray understood. We got to just play smart football here. We got to bring the experienced players like a Lemina, a Lucas Torreira, and a Gundogan into this team. And when you have a striker like Victor Osimhen, who's going to cause trouble, this is why I don't understand. Oh, he's asking for too many high wages. Honestly, shut up. All of these directors in football, when you see a striker like Victor Osimhen and the amount of sort of trouble he causes to any defense out there, he didn't play against Frankfurt because he was injured, and he got injured in this game. Hopefully he's okay because, Nigeria, they're going to need him next week in order to qualify for the World Cup. Victor Osimhen is such a dominant striker. He's not a João Pedro, a Bobby Firmino, where he's a false 9. He's doing this wonderful link-up play. Bulldozer. Exactly like his idol Didier Drogba. Nothing wonderful to watch. Just pure ferocity with his overall play. I love Victor Osimhen. I think he's an absolutely top 10 striker in the world, and I'm very happy for Galatasaray that they got to keep him and they paid the big money. You know why they paid the big money? That he shows up in these Champions League games. That's why. But Jakobs, left back, unbelievable game. Singo. I talked about this guy so many times last season for Monaco. He scored a ridiculous goal last season in the Champions League for Monaco. Singo was incredible this game. Incredible. Lockdown, Gakpo, his ability to drive with the ball, his passing. I mean, Singo was outstanding in the game. And Lemina and Torreira were just physical. And they basically just physically dominated Liverpool in the matchup. They got the 1 goal. Defensively solid. Name me a chance that Liverpool created in the second half. They didn't because Galatasaray were defensively solid and Liverpool were just horrible in possession. So yeah, deserved victory for Galatasaray. One of their biggest victories, I would say, in the last 5 to 10 years overall, considering that Liverpool and the team they have. So shout out to every Galatasaray fan out there. And this is the key for Galatasaray. They're going to have to win every home game if they want to qualify to the playoffs, in the Champions League. They're going to have to do it because we see them away from home, not the same team. But yeah, great victory for Galatasaray. They fully deserved it. No problem for me. Liverpool is suffering the same issues Atletico had last year after the new signings. Nothing is gelling together and chemistry is missing. Yep, exactly. It's going to take time, I think, for Liverpool. Yeah, he performed great too. We'll give you the bounce back win. No worries. Hopefully, bro. Hopefully. These players need to remember who they are. Exactly. Szoboszlai clearly purposely hit Yilmaz. Yeah, no. That's a pen. There is no doubt about it. I don't know why people were saying, oh, that's a soft pen. It's a clear as day. Szoboszlai knows exactly what he's doing. He knows exactly what he was doing. That was a clear pen. Agreed. Galatasaray is a team that applies high pressing, even doing so all the way to the goalkeeper, and can play legendary matches against strong teams. Osimhen wasn't ready due to his injury. Yep, and he still balled out. Yilmaz and Yunus isn't at his physical peak given the circumstances. Coach Okan slightly pulled back the pressing zone and completely neutralized Liverpool in the midfield. Torreira was a true warrior. Absolute warrior, bro. He's a pest, but he was a warrior for Galatasaray. I'm kind of worried, but I think it will work out. Well, we got to hope so, Zane. We got to hope so. Honestly, Liverpool should stick to the same play style. Atletico this year was not playing awful, but just was not clinical up front. And every chance the opponent had, they had scored. Yeah, you can look at the Rayo game, for example. You can look at the Rayo game. Chiesa is way better than Gakpo. I don't get why Slot is not using him more. He was injured for this game, but that's why. Yeah, he wasn't even called up to the UCL squad. But as soon as Leone got the injury, Chiesa was called up, which for me is crazy. Because Chiesa, every time he's now been called up in like the last year, League Cup final, Atleti, Bournemouth, he gets the goals. Sorry, not Atleti, but he gets the goals. Chiesa, Crystal Palace. That was the game. Yep. Hopefully, bro. Hopefully. Big up, G. How you doing, bro? Hopefully you're doing well, G. Spurs game almost 5xG. Oh, yeah, that was the game at home. Yeah, but didn't Tottenham win that game? Or did Gala win that game? God, I think, was it 3-2? Oh, yeah, Spurs played their B team in that game, if I remember correctly. How far do you think a team like Gala can go? To be honest, G, they are such a bipolar team. I have no clue. I wish I had a crystal ball and said, yep, Galatasaray will make it to the playoff round of the Champions League. This team are just so weird because they can have a game like this, and then they'll have a game like Frankfurt. They can have a game like this, or they can have a game at home to AZ Alkmaar last season, or they can have a game like home to the Young Boys last season. So it's a matter of, will Victor Osimhen show up? For me, he is the key difference maker for this side. Abolish it, by the way. Thoughts on Wirtz, by the way. I think he had a good game, to be honest. I know people want to poo-poo him. I honestly think he had a pretty decent game. He had created a couple of chances in the matchup, but still, has Wirtz been underperforming this season? No doubt about it. To what I've seen at Bayer Leverkusen, the whole entire team is underperforming, and especially Wirtz. Wirtz has not been good this season, but everybody's saying, oh, he's a fraud. Oh, look at this. I mean, it's craziness. Did everybody give up on Caicedo after the first season at Chelsea? Did everybody give up on like Dennis Bergkamp after 6 months at Arsenal? No, they didn't. And look what those players have been doing. So I think people going way over the top about Wirtz. Really over the top. Yes, should he be getting goals and assists? Of course, but he needs to be playing better. Galatasaray won. Yeah, 3-2. Yeah, I remember that game now. Victor Osimhen had like 3 1-on-1s in that game. So shout out to Galatasaray. They deserve victory. Another team that are just absolutely atrocious. I mean, it pains me to say this, but Ajax are one of the worst teams in the Champions League. One of the worst. No style. Trying to play the Ajax way. You want to play the Ajax way with these players, you're going to get cooked, Taitinga. You're going to get cooked, the Ajax board. I don't understand this. Oh, we need to play the Ajax way because it's... Yes, I get it. Playing the Ajax way is wonderful. You need to have the players to do it. Ajax simply don't have the players to do it, and they will get punished every single game. Every single game if they keep doing this. Did they have an opportunity like in the second half? Was like the first 10 minutes of the game? Yeah, of course, but come on, man. Like Ajax are just so poor. The team is poor. The manager is poor. It's just, it's dreadful to watch Ajax right now. Dreadful. And guess which player had to absolutely punish them in this game? Of course, the former Feyenoord guy, Igor Pajau. I don't think he has scored a goal for Marseille yet. And he was a big money signing for them over the summer. Gets 2 goals. But look at how easy the goals are. Beautiful assist from Aubameyang. I think it was for the second goal. I can't remember who gave the assist for the first goal, but it's just easy. Igor Pajau is just one-on-one with the goalkeeper. It's too easy from an Ajax perspective, and it's just simple football from Marseille. Just play direct football, win the ball back, boom. One touch, one pass, boom. It's very simple football can be sometimes, and Marseille proved it against Ajax and won 4-0. I mean, Aubameyang still doing what he's doing at 36 is remarkable to me, and Igor Pajau really showing up in the game. Also, Vermin had a really good game. I know he's had a sort of dreadful last 2 years after the move to Atleti, then made the move to RB Leipzig. That was dreadful. Now he's at Marseille. He had a really good game against Ajax, but I knew Marseille were going to win this game because this Ajax team were just not good enough. I really fear that Ajax are going to be like a bottom 5 team. Ajax, come on, man. Come on. It cannot be this way. But yeah, I think for Marseille now, they're cooking. They are cooking right now. As soon as they got that victory over PSG and Le Classique, this team have confidence. All that turmoil, all that sort of Kardashian drama with the Rabiot, with the Jonathan Rowe, it's all gone now. It's all forgotten. Now look at the way Marseille are playing. They're playing with confidence. They have a style, and I'm really, really liking this Marseille team. Can they do something this season in the Champions League? I don't really see it, but it's good to see because this home atmosphere, we love it. Obviously, it's not great if you're a away fan because, I mean, just some of the videos I've seen of away fans going to Marseille, yeah, it can be a little bit of a crazy time. But if you're a home fan, if you're just a neutral, you're watching the Marseille fans and the players and the way they're just enjoying the football right now, hey, there are good vibes. Finally, some good vibes with Marseille, and maybe they will go 2 seasons with the same manager. That in itself is a flipping miracle for Marseille. It's a miracle, but yeah, they fully deserve the victory because Ajax is just dreadful. Just dreadful. I'm going to say it every single time when I do these videos. What are your thoughts on Marseille? I've been impressed. Yeah, they're playing good football right now. They're playing good football on paper, at least. Yep, he released the demons, bro. He said, "Oh yeah, you guys, I remember scoring against you in the Klassiker. Let me do it again. Ajax are the biggest worst team in the UCL. Ooh, yeah, probably. Yeah, they are probably the worst big team. You could probably say that. Ajax are terrible. Sheesh indeed. I didn't even know Aubameyang still played. Yeah, he's still balling out, bro. He's still balling out. Marseille looking good right now. Momo Henny won't have to break that TV this season. Well, he might still. He broke it against Real Madrid because of the referees more. Ja was missing the Ajax stat padding. How you doing, Elias? So hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully you're doing well. Ajax is so bad that downfall is crazy. Oh yeah, it's crazy. Although I don't think it's really a downfall. I think it's just more about they are not a good team. And I think we know that just by their recruitment, just by the way they play. It's just like as soon as I know there was so much criticism on Farioli last season for bolstering the league. Look at the team they had last season to tell me should have Farioli won the league with that team. Should they? No, they should have not won that league with Farioli as the manager. So this is really down to more. As soon as Mark Overmars had that whole allegation shit going on, it's all been shambles for Ajax. All shambles. So what was that guy's name? Sven Missenthal or something like that. When he came into the sporting director role, that was its disaster itself with the Mika Doncic sign. Oh my God, it's just been so poor recruitment-wise from Ajax. And yeah, the academy isn't producing as many ballers as we were hoping for. Big up to Invictus Maneo for becoming a member. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you very much for your kindness for becoming a member of the channel. Thank you for your support. Big up to Sebastian. Big up to Invictus Maneo for becoming members. Shout out to you all. Most important thing is you guys hit the like button and subscribe if you're new. That's the most important thing. If you guys just do that, I'm happy. I'm a blessed man. But big up to you, Invictus. Thank you for becoming a member. Really appreciate that. I've heard this for months. I've heard this for years. When it's official, we'll talk about it. Why do you think Ajax are falling so down the pecking order? One, because of recruitment. Two, because they're still stuck on this idea of playing the Ajax way. And three, they're just not good. They're just simply not a good team. PSV have overtaken them. And also, the Eredivisie is poor right now. It's very, very poor. Very, very poor. All right, let's continue to a game that I did watch as well. Bodo Glimt 2, Tottenham 2. If you're a Bodo Glimt fan, I honestly would be pissed. I would be so pissed. They absolutely dominated Spurs. This game should have not been 2-2. Kasper Høeg can never take a penalty again in the Champions League. Back-to-back games in the UCL, he misses a penalty. Don't allow him to take a penalty if you're a Bodo Glimt fan. If you see Kasper Høeg maybe taking the ball and ready to take a penalty, somebody has to run on the field because this guy cannot take it again. Skies it over. So it's so infuriating because Bodo Glimt absolutely dominated this game. Yeah, Spurs had their moments. They had a pretty decent first half. Second half, I think they were completely outplayed until Bodo Glimt got that. After the second goal, yeah, it was all Spurs for me when they got chance creation, creating opportunities. It's just so... because Bodo Glimt completely controlled this game. The football they play way up north is just mesmerizing to watch with all of the runners off the ball runs. It's so like you cannot do anything about it if you're a Tottenham defender. So for Bodo, Jens Peter Hauge was unbelievable. Messi-esque performance from him. That second goal he scored, ridiculous goal from him. Ridiculous. I mean, little feint, then Pedro Porro sold. He's puts it into the bottom right corner. Bodo Glimt are in Disneyland, Fairyland. It's all wonderful vibes. They're going to win this game 3-1, 3-0, comfortable. And then Spurs, they came back and got a 2-2 draw. Did Spurs really deserve a point? Not so much, but I got to credit them that at least they showed some fight in the game, that they didn't back down. They realized they were in a tough predicament here, and just the own goal was their demise. Own goal was their demise. I think it was the player. He came onto the field. I think it was his first ever UCL appearance. And to give up an own goal like that, it must suck for a Bodo Glimt fan. They still had an opportunity of like in extra time as well to get a goal. Didn't happen. So, yeah, I think this is really... I know like we should all be praising Bodo Glimt and saying, wow, what a wonderful story. They're here in the Champions League. If you watch this game, this was men against boys for me because Bodo Glimt absolutely outplayed them, but they didn't get the victory. And yeah, I think it's more disappointing for Bodo Glimt. I think Spurs should be happy because Spurs knew they went there last year and got the victory with Ange, and they knew this was going to be a tough game for Thomas Frank. To get a point, I think that's a pretty good result. And with the circumstances within the game, to get a point, Spurs should be happy. They should be happy. So yeah, really disappointing for them. He dipped. He dipped away from the fire, bro. He dipped away from the fire. All right, now we get to the Wednesday games. Yesterday's games. Newcastle 4-0 victory over Royal Union. You kind of feel like Royal Union, they were a little bit dangerous on the set pieces and overall play. Royal Union were in this game, but Newcastle, when they had to be clinical, they were clinical. Gordon with a couple of goals, obviously one of them from a penalty, which was a stupid challenge from the defender from Royal Union. I mean, Alanga, with just his speed, that little burst of pace he has, is just, when you always see his training videos when he's just going crazy like this, there's a reason why. There's a reason why. Because then he gets these moments like that where he creates the penalty, Gordon slots it. I think Royal Union, they played good. It's just, when you're not clinical, when you don't take your chances, these teams will punish you. Newcastle, with the quality they have, they're going to punish you. They're going to be somewhat solid defensively. They have a goalkeeper in form in Nick Pope. Yeah, it's going to be difficult for Royal Union. So after the euphoria of being PSV, then you're at home. Obviously, not really their home. They have to obviously play in a different stadium, Anderlecht Stadium, for this game. You have to be smarter in possession. You have to be smarter with your decision making. So making rash challenges like that, you're going to be punished. And hey, shout out to Nick Woltemott. If there's, people want to talk about the downfall of the German national team, at least Nick Woltemott is putting some respect on them. I didn't think he would be this good. I was really surprised that he made the move to Newcastle. Obviously, if you're Stuttgart, you're getting 85 million from Nick Woltemott. You're going to take the money. But Nick Woltemott has been unbelievable so far for Newcastle. Hold up play, link up play. He's a giraffe, bro. He is a giraffe with a touch, I don't know, a delicate touch, like a ballerina. That is Nick Woltemott. He's a ballerina mixed with a giraffe. You get Nick Woltemott, because his link-up play yesterday was mesmerizing to watch, and a great goal from him. Little back heel flick from Tonali's shot. So yeah, Newcastle deserved the victory in a sense that they didn't play like the best Newcastle style, really like high tempo, just really take it to the game, to the opponent, like we kind of see at St. James's Park. But these games away from home is where Newcastle kind of struggled the last time they were in the Champions League. This time they got the victory. I would be pretty happy if I was a Newcastle fan, because after losing 2-0 to Barcelona, it could be a little bit demoralizing for the players, but they bounced back in this game. For Royal Union, I think if they keep playing like this, they're going to keep collecting points. They were just unfortunate on the day, and they've met a side that were just clinical. So, yeah, Harvey Barnes with the goal, Gordon with 2 goals, and Nick Woltemott. So, big victory for Newcastle. Big victory for them. And then we got Qarabag. Now, Qarabag are easily the most surprising team so far in the Champions League. Easily. What they have done in the first 2 games. One, to beat Benfica away from home, which was a mere miracle for me, being obviously 2-0 down in the game. And then they go home. Obviously, an AFC Copenhagen team that played pretty well against Bayer Leverkusen. Qarabag absolutely dominated them in that first half. They should have been up 3-4-0. The amount of chances they created, Zubir, who scored the goal, great goal from him. Then he hits the crossbar as well. They should have been 3-4-0 up over AFC Copenhagen. Obviously, then AFC Copenhagen kind of bounced back in the second half, creating chances. They obviously didn't play the best AFC Copenhagen, I would still say, in the second half. But Qarabag, they just withstood the pressure. Then Adai comes off the bench. Quality goal from him. And Qarabag now have 2 victories in the UCL. Before this season, they had 0. They had 0 Champions League victories in their entire history. Now they got 2. What a moment for this Azerbaijani team. And what a moment for all of these players, like most of them kind of being journeyman players, and then having this moment of just euphoria and moment in the shining in the European media. Now people will talk about Qarabag. So, I mean, what a crazy story. If they could just pick up one more victory and maybe get a draw somewhere, I think 10 to 12 points will be enough to make it to the playoffs. So I think Qarabag's next game is Athletic Club away. Now, if Qarabag beat Athletic Club away in Bilbao, mamma mia, that would be really a statement. It was one thing going away to the Estadio de Luz and beating Benfica. Going away to the San Mamés and Athletic Club having to win that game, that would be even more incredible to me. So, yeah, Qarabag, after the first half, I was like, okay, are they going to be punished for not being so clinical in the first half? Nope. They kind of defensively were pretty solid. I don't think they really got tested in the game. Yeah, El Yunusi had a chance, and I think it was Lauderson had a chance in the box as well. But overall, Qarabag kind of controlled the game, really just exhilarating. Like both fullbacks being involved in the attack. Like they knew this is our moment. We got to take advantage of it. And they took advantage of it and got the 2 goals, and they won the victory. For FC Copenhagen, I think it's like, okay, they're not going to be so good away from home. And these were, I feel like 2 games, a Bayer Leverkusen team that are not really on fire at the moment, and away to Qarabag, you're like, okay, FC Copenhagen, you kind of need to win this game. They didn't. It's going to be their downfall if they really want to have a chance of making it to the playoff. And yeah, shout out to Qarabag, man. What a win for them, and huge moment for the club and huge moment for Azerbaijani football. And if they could just get, money-wise, this is unbelievable for them. Crazy what they get with the prize money. If they could just get one more victory, they might make it to the playoff, people. They might want to make it to the playoff. If I'm not crazy, I think he's been the manager of Qarabag since 2008. Since 2008, having the same manager is crazy. I like this new format because you can get beaten 1-0 in the 90th minute and you won't get your revenge. Yeah, you can't get your revenge. You got to just, the pain. And we're going to talk about a team that got pain from that exact system right there. Rasmus Hojlund. Oh, Manchester United fans, I really feel bad for you guys. I don't know what you feel like when you're seeing your players, your ex-players. It's like seeing an ex, and then the ex going to get like a, I don't know, Victoria's Secret model or something like that, or some fitness model who just is on Instagram. Rasmus Hojlund now is cooking. First it was Scott McSauce. Then Rashford goes to Barcelona, is cooking. Now Rasmus Hojlund gets a man of the match in the Champions League. What can you do if you're a Manchester United fan at this point in time? I think they just played to the strengths of Rasmus Hojlund. Just make those off-ball runs like a Hojlund does. He knew exactly what to do. He saw KDB. Wonderful sort of ability to beat the press from KDB. 1-2 touch with Anguissa. They beat the press. KDB driving with the ball, beats a defender, plays a perfect pass into Rasmus Hojlund. And yeah, that's exactly what Rasmus Hojlund did at Atalanta. Make runs in behind with his pace. Somewhat decent finisher. Not the greatest of finishes with the right foot. It looked a little bit weak. Obviously went through the goalkeeper, but take nothing away. To get that goal must have given him so much confidence. And now I think he went like 3-4 games without a goal. Now he got a goal in the Champions League. Look at Rasmus Hojlund, man. Such a happy player and so happy for him because it was such a horrific time in Manchester United. But I would say overall that Napoli still didn't play the best. I feel like Sporting played a really good game, especially going away to Naples. I was like, okay, Napoli should take the incentive in this game. They should be the dominant team. But Sporting were actually really good, and they should have really won this game. Kenda really causing troubles. I think there was that other player who came off the bench. He was causing a lot of troubles. Obviously, Luis Suarez. I think it was criminal that Luis Suarez didn't start the game. I thought it was like, really? You're not going to start Luis Suarez, who's in form. That was baffling to me. But Sporting got back into this game. Obviously, penalty, Luis Suarez, clinical penalty. And then they were the better team. Then all Napoli had was just that one set piece. KDB, wonderful cross into you-know-who, Rasmus Hojlund, with the header. And then at the end, Sporting still had an opportunity. Milinkovic-Savic. I think I talked about this when I made the Napoli transfer video. He is such a demon of a goalkeeper. Such a demon. Like his save at the end to save Napoli is why they have a squad right now. Last season, they didn't have anybody other than Meret. Now they have Meret. And now they have Milinkovic-Savic. Obviously, it looks like Milinkovic-Savic is going to be the Champions League goalkeeper. But, just such a huge presence in goal. He's 6'8", looks like Nikola Jokic's bodyguard. The dude is an unreal goalkeeper. If you watch him at Torino, you're like, oh no, this guy is good. Makes a clutch save. Napoli get the victory. I don't think they played good. I don't think they really needed to. I think Sporting actually played a quite good game, and I think they'll kind of be a little bit frustrated that they didn't get more than a point in this game. But yeah, shout out to Napoli. They needed this, and shout out to Rasmus Hojlund because now the kid is in form again. Hojlund is going to be so good in the future. He's young, hardworking, doesn't complain. He listens to everything the manager tells him to do. His work rate is good. Imagine Hojlund when he's 27, 30. He's going to be deadly striker. Hopefully, bro. Hopefully. Yeah, terrible, bro. Di Lorenzo so bad. I don't know if he didn't play, but he's not been good this season. Yeah, Di Lorenzo, Oh my God, did he play? I was watching. I mean, to be fair, I was watching 3 games, so it's quite difficult for me. But he didn't play because he got the red card. Yes. He didn't. It was Spinazzola in the right back position. Napoli's left back depth is pretty solid with Mateus Oliveira, Spinazzola, and now Gutierrez. Yeah, especially Gutierrez. Now Spinazzola goes to the right back position. So yeah, that's why they spent the big money this summer to get a player like KDB on a free, to get a Milinkovic-Savic, to get a Become, to get a Miguel Gutierrez, to get all these players because they're going to need a bench. I mean, why can David Neres not get anything? I mean, David Neres came into the 70th minute in the game. Noah Long came into the game, but they didn't really offer much. Didn't offer much. How one... by the way, people, Ajax fan. Ajax fan. That is crazy. It's crazy because it's true, but it's just crazy when you say it out loud. Oh my God. Shout out captain. Yeah, it's dreadful. Another Eredivisie team. Yeah, Eredivisie teams this season are not going to make it to the playoffs. I'll say that right now. Because, yeah, while PSV got a point in this game, they didn't offer much against Bayer Leverkusen. I didn't get to watch the game. I'll be judging by the highlights. But this guy, Poku, who I think he came from AZ Alkmaar for Bayer Leverkusen, he was on smoke. He saw Serginho Dest and said, my time to cook. My time to cook here. And Bayer Leverkusen will be kicking themselves also because Grimaldo had an unbelievable chance at the end of the game. All he needs to do is just lay it off to Echeverri. You lay it off to Echeverri, you might get the goal there if you're Bayer Leverkusen. Poor from Grimaldo. Really should be looking at the situation better. Bayer Leverkusen, they created opportunities, not really a lot within the box. More of just shots outside the box from Alex Garcia, for example. Yeah, it was a little bit disappointing for Bayer Leverkusen because they dominated the game. PSV didn't offer much throughout. There was an offside goal from Perisic. Yeah, PSV, I think they're still not good defensively. They didn't really offer anything going forward in this game. And if you're Bayer Leverkusen, you have to win this game. Now that's 2 back-to-back draws, and you've played PSV and FC Copenhagen. How bad it was Ten Hag, really? How bad it was Ten Hag? I'm kidding. They had to get rid of Ten Hag because of all the drama in the background. But yeah, PSV, I just don't think they're going to be a good sign in the Champions League. Yes, they're going to be a little bit open in the back, but they got to be better going forward. If you can't offer anything going forward, you're going to get cooked. And so, but this guy who they started by Leverkusen, Kovane, I think he's like 19, 20 years old, Cameroonian. So you got Ete Young, you got Kovane, you should be fine if you're Cameroon. Well, that's unless Eto'o is still the president. So yeah, we move on. Dortmund 4-1 victory, excuse me. This game was absolutely one-sided for Dortmund. They were 2-0 up, coasting. I mean, coasting. Chukwuemeka scored a great goal with his left foot. I was like, oh my God. This was one of the games also I watched. I was like, oh yeah, Dortmund, they're cooking. Gonna be fine here. And then Atletico Club woke up. And then Atletico Club made it 2-1. Then they had a great chance at 2-2. And basically Svensson saved the game for Dortmund because all the momentum was Athletic Club. They were finding chances out wide. They were putting crosses in. Link-up play. Sanati had a chance. Oh, Athletic Club were cooking for about 20 to 30 minutes in the second half because the game was just so wide open. We still know Dortmund are not the best defensive team, but they've kind of grown under Niko Kovac. Obviously, Stotterbeck didn't play in this game. It was Schule, by the way. I mean, God. Nicolas Schule is so bad. I mean, one, he was selfish because there was an opportunity for Gerassi. He could have played Gerassi in. He didn't. Otherwise, Nicolas Schule, defensively, horror show. That's why Athletic Club scored the goal because he couldn't clear his line. And then it was a mix-up between him and Anton. But there was a chance for Athletic Club. If Svensson does not clear that off the line, 2-2, and who knows where this game would have went. Svensson saves it there. Then they make it 3-1 with a lucky bounce off Gerassi, 3-1, and then it was game over. It was game over. So for Dortmund, they bounced back. I still don't think they played the best. Obviously, defensively, they're not going to be strong with Niko Kovac. I think that's more down to personnel compared to tactically how they're setting up. But yeah, big victory for Dortmund. They're going to be a dominant home side, I think, in the Champions League. They always have been for the last couple of years. The only loss they've really had in the Champions League at home is Barcelona last season in the league phase. That's been it. Otherwise, Dortmund are going to be a strong team at home. And for Athletic Club, oh my God, these guys have no confidence. Defensively poor, really one-dimensional going forward. It's just cross. They need Nico Williams back ASAP. But my biggest worry is Nico Williams is going to be fit. He's going to be called up by Spain, and he gets injured again. That's going to be my biggest worry if you're an Athletic Club fan out there. Really bizarre sort of lineup from Valverde. Why are you starting Gomez? Gomez is not starting level quality. He's not. You have to get that into your mind if you're Valverde. He's not starting quality. So yeah, for Dortmund, good performance. Defensively, still have some question marks, but you can see this team is gelling. When you have players like Adeyemi, who's in good form right now, with a Chukwuemeka, with a Gerasi, you're going to be in the game. And Svensson, I really like Svensson. I think he's a quality player. Both Eredivisie teams and Portuguese teams got terrible draws, are not in the best of forms. RIP to all of them. Yeah, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. He's such a good player, man. Such a good player. He's not ass, but he's not the greatest, I would say. But I'm give him time. It's only his first season with Dortmund. Juventus. Oh, my God, man. This team as well, man. Such a bipolar team because the first 30 minutes, Villarreal were cooking them. I mean, chefing them up, sauteing, barbecuing, everything. Nothing. Juventus could do nothing in the game for the first 30 minutes. And then kind of Villarreal, we know with their sort of high intensity, high pressing game, very direct sort of football, it's going to wear off. Obviously, Mika Dalta getting the goal. Wonderful. Nicolas Pepe having a couple of chances. Papa Gay having a chance. They were creating chances at Villarreal. Then they kind of pedal to the metal sort of football, wore off. Then Juventus grew into the game. And then second half, Juventus started playing good football. Jonathan David. Oh, my God. You cannot miss that chance. The crossbar opportunity or the post with his left foot, you cannot criticize him there. The back post where he's free, and he tries to lay it in with his right foot. Hey, hit him. Left foot. Use the left foot, Jonathan David. If he just slots it in with his left foot, it's a goal for Juventus. And then they're 2-1 up, and they're good. They had a couple opportunities to make it 3-1. Oh, it must be so infuriating for a Juventus fan because they didn't still play great. Like I've always said with this Juventus team throughout this season, when the Champions League, with the predictions, with the reviews, this defense is an abomination. Gatti, whoever it is, Kelly, Kalulu, they need Bremer. When Bremer doesn't start for this team, they're all over the place defensively. Obviously, he cannot play consistently coming back from the ACL, which I can understand. I mean, look at Cabal. Cabal started this game, returning from an ACL injury. He gets injured. That was more, I think, his hamstring more than his knee, which hopefully that's the case. I'm not a doctor. I'm just judging by what I saw. But Juventus, like, Koop Miners. Oh my God. Guys, Koop Miners. He might be one of the worst signings I've ever seen. I mean, one of the worst signings because he cost 60 million. 60 million investment. And he was dragged off at halftime because he was so bad. That was the one thing I don't understand with Tudor. You play Yildiz, you play David, you play Conceição. Why are you starting Koop Miners? Koop Miners could not complete a pass. Actually, let me check what was his passing in that game yesterday because it was awful. It was so bad. That's why he got dragged off at halftime. Where is Juventus? There. Boom, boom, boom. Wow. So according to SofaScore, it was 19 out of 22 passes. With my two eyes, with mi ojos, he was terrible. Terrible. So he's going to go down as one of the worst signings, I think, for Juventus. I think they got to just cash on him and move on because he's not going to offer anything to this team. But Igor Tudor and his team, they're going to be great going. I think now Tudor just needs to just go full out attack because your defense is so bad. So what Juventus have to do every single game is basically going to have to outscore the opponent like they did against Inter, like they almost tried to do against Dortmund because their defense is not good enough. Doesn't matter tactically, but yeah, okay, cool. Gatti scored a bicycle kick goal. You are a defender. Learn how to defend. Learn how to defend. He can't defend. For Villarreal, I mean, yeah, they played amazing for 30 minutes. Then they completely wore off in the second half. And Renato Vega, I don't know why he's doing this celebration. My guy, you were on loan at Juventus. They just didn't want to pay the 45 or 40 million for you. And Villarreal, they had to spend a club record to sign the player. Or maybe it's Mika Dalta now. It was weird from Renato Vega, that reaction. But the guy, he loves scoring those sort of plays. It's just so frustrating because Juventus have quality players, but my God, they don't know how to defend. For Villarreal, they're going to be the most entertaining team in Europe this season. if you want to watch football, people, watch Villarreal and Marcelino's team because they're just going to be direct. They got Nicolas Pepe cooking. They got Tejan Buchanan, Akomach. They got all these sort of guys. They're going to be such a fun team to watch. But they're not going to be good defensively either. They're going to give up chances to the opponents. I think this game was awesome to watch, but also like kind of like a football purist sort of microscope into this game. Defensively, both teams are shambolic. There is no defense between these two teams, but it made for a good game, and I think it was a fair result, 2-2. I think it was a fair result. So I'm surprised by their performance. I think that's an understatement, Raul, because Villarreal have been cooking this season. They're going to be great going forward, but defensively, they're going to be awful. Big up THT Football Rumble. Well done, brother. You have good knowledge on football from different content. Big up to you, THT. Thank you for your kind comments, bro. Thank you very much for your kind comments. Really appreciate it. Kim and Jay would save Juventus' defensive issues. Yeah, agreed. Lloyd Kelly plays for Juve on Serious Club. To be honest, AK, Lloyd Kelly has actually been pretty good this season. You got to look at a guy like Gatti and a guy like Kalulu. Those guys, not good enough. Jonathan David was so bad. The Hater Central didn't even give him a slander name. Bro just said whoever this guy is. I like Jonathan David, but man, he has not had a good start so far with Juventus. Not a good start. Just joined. Big up, Michael. Have you ever met a footballer in real life? Yeah, I met David Beckham. He was actually a really nice guy. I know Bayern are interested in Vlahovic. Terrible. Why would they do it? I'm sure they can get a deal with Juve to add Kim. Kim is a really good defender. I think Juventus got to sign Kim Min-jae ASAP. Juve conceding 6 in the first 2 games. Who would have thought that 10 years ago? Chiellini, Bonucci, Barzagli wouldn't even concede 6 goals in a Champions League campaign. Wouldn't even concede 6 goals in Champions League. They've conceded 6 goals in 2 UCL games. God, terrible. No, Koop Miners has been atrocious so far. The good thing for Jonathan David is he's a free signing. Koop Miners cost 60 million. 60 million, he can't complete a pass. Dreadful, but yeah, entertaining game. I think 2-2 was a fair result. Really, really fair result. Wow. I did not see this result coming because Monaco are terrible. Defensively, obviously, they're going to allow a lot going forward. Give me a second, people. Okay, excuse me, people. There we go. Monaco, AS Monaco, Manchester City. Erling Braut Haaland is still on fire. That's first goal he had where he chipped it over the goalkeeper was sensational. Wonderful pass. I think it was was it O'Reilly who played it over the top? I think it was O'Reilly. I only checked out the highlights of this game. People, I didn't get to watch this game because I thought, oh yeah, Manchester City are going to win 3-1. Oh no, it was Gvardiol who played that pass over the top. Great finish from Haaland. And then Teze said, okay, cool. You want to watch football? Yeah, let's watch football, people. I mean, 2-2, great goal from Teze. Then Haaland scores again, and then to be honest, I think that's a really sort of like iffy penalty. I mean, what is Bernardo Silva supposed to do in that situation? What is he supposed to do? Then obviously Eric Dyer scores against Manchester City. Judging by the highlights, so I can't really talk about the game, is Man City completely dominated this game in the first half. They had some chances in the second half, and then Monaco kind of grew into the game more and more and more. So it's got to be frustrating for Manchester City because they had this game in complete control and they threw it away. Now it's more of like, if you think that was a penalty or not, you can let me know your thoughts in the comments down below from Bernardo Silva. They concede the penalty. They concede the goal to Eric Dyer, draw 2-2, and it just shows you that, yes, Man City are going to score 5 goals against the Burnley. They're going to be dominant against those teams, but they are still not the same Manchester City dominant that we saw maybe 2 to 3 seasons ago. They're still not that team because they're not quite good defensively. Midfield wise, they're good. Attacking wise, I have no problems because as long as you have Erling Braut Haaland, you're going to be fine there. So really disappointing sort of second half by Manchester City. The first half, encouraging because they absolutely dominated the games. I think they threw this game away. I think Man City just allowed Monaco back into the game, and Yeah, judging by the highlights, of course, I didn't get to watch this game. I didn't get to watch this game. I didn't get to watch this game either. Arsenal 2-0 over Olympiacos. They created a lot of chances. Erdogan was in the heart of creating the chances, by the way. It just shows you the squad depth. Eze was on the bench. Saka was on the bench. Rice was on the bench, and they got a comfortable 2-0 victory. Yeah, Olympiacos had like half chances with El Gabi and Taremi and these sort of guys, but come on. Arsenal were always going to be dominant in this game because they're in flow right now. They're in that sort of flow where it doesn't matter the opponent, doesn't matter the sort of setup that the opponents are going to apply to Arsenal. They're just going to dominate the game. So comfortable, professional performance from Arsenal. They're just in the groove right now. Great goal from Saka. Really good sort of link-up play between, I think it was Trossard who played the ball through to Gyökeres for the first goal. That's what you have to do if you're Arsenal. Gyökeres is going to make those runs consistently through the heart of the defense. Now you just got to play the ball to him. As long as you do that, Arsenal got a quality striker, and Martinelli's in good form. So, yeah, defensively, Arsenal are always going to be strong. It's just about the attack and what sort of midfield personnel they have. But now that they got players like Erdegaard, Eze, Saka, I mean, they have so many creators on the field. It's just about, okay, how is Arteta really going to set up with this team? Lewis Skelly put in a great cross into, I think it was Martinelli, the first 2 minutes. Yeah, it just shows you the squad depth that Arsenal have right now is scary. Olympiacos, I mean, yeah, they tried. They had a couple of half chances, but they were never going to get a result away in North London. I would have been shocked if they did. This is not the Arsenal team where what was his name? El Arabi got the winner in the Europa League. It's not the same Arsenal anymore. This is a completely different Arsenal team. They are strong. That's why I said they are a top 5 favorite for the Champions League, because they have a blueprint to be competitive in the Champions League this season. They can go far once again. They can go far. So yeah, good victory for Arsenal. Good victory for Arsenal. And I think this is the last game. Yep, last game then. PSG. Depleted PSG. Missing Desiree Doué. Missing Dembele. Missing João Neves. Missing Kvaratskhelia. Missing Marquinhos. Obviously, Barcelona, they were missing Rafinha, Johan Garcia, and Fermin Lopez. Yeah, Fermin Lopez. Obviously, Balde came off the bench. So PSG had more injuries to key players. And the first 30 minutes, Barcelona were dominant. It was like the first 30 seconds, Lamine Yamal was just going on a run. Then the first 2 minutes, Lamine Yamal does a ridiculous Zidane turn. Give me a second, people, again. All right, we're back, people. First 30 minutes, Barcelona were absolutely dominant because the chances they created, Pedri was on smoke, Rashford was creating opportunities, Lamine Yamal was on fire. PSG were really not into the game. Yeah, they had like a set piece. Was it with Zabarni who had an opportunity from the corner? But Barcelona were phenomenal. High intensity, high pressing. They were good. And then kind of as the game grew further and further into the 90 minutes, PSG woke up. They woke up. Nuno Mendes was getting involved in the attack. Hakimi was getting involved in the attack. Nuno Mendes, by the way, I mean, I said this last season, and I said this like 2 years ago when I watched him for the first time. I was like, this guy is, or I think it's Alex from Wonder Kids or something like that. He said, Nuno Mendes, or how do you pronounce it in Portuguese? Nuno Mendes will be one of the best left backs in the world. He is the best left back in the world. There is no discussions about that. Nuno Mendes, yes, you can talk about he got cooked by Lamine Yamal. What do you think he's going to do? Lamine Yamal is one of the best players in the world. Of course, he's going to create opportunities for his teammate. Obviously, he's going to beat him with 1 or 2 dribbles. But then you kind of see Lamine Yamal was a little bit quiet. He obviously had that one opportunity where Nuno Mendes could have really been sent off. To me, That should have been the second yellow, and Nuno Mendes sent off. I don't know why the referee didn't give a second yellow. Yeah, you can talk about, oh, Barcelona were robbed or that sort of stuff, but I don't think Barcelona played well in that second half. They didn't really create an opportunity. They didn't really have that high intensity football. Their pressing wasn't working because PSG were just kind of like patient. There was a little bit more patience with the buildup from PSG, and then they started just cooking over and over and over again. And this was without so many key players in the attack. You had a guy in Baye, 17 years old. Malulu, I think he's 18, 19. And obviously then you have Barcola. And Barcola had a couple really good opportunities. Barcola, when he's facing a defender, amazing. When he's facing the goalkeeper, he needs to work on his finishing. When he does that, Barcola will be a great player. I don't think you should be so discouraged if you're a Barcelona fan. You can't be like, oh my God, look at, oh, Barcelona are frauds. It's one game. These are two of the best teams in Europe. I feel like Barcelona just cannot play. I mean, let's just look at this, people. Let's just look at this for 1 minute. You cannot do this if you are Barcelona. In the 90th minute, people, the 90th minute playing like this is suicidal. This is suicide from Hansi Flick. I get you want to be pressing high up from the front, but look at the amount of space you're going to allow a player like Hakimi, like a player like Nuno Mendes. You're going to get cooked in these sort of situations. So obviously PSG did really well to beat the press and then kind of drive with the ball. And I think it was Vitinho who played out wide to Hakimi. Vitinho in the second half was really good. Vitinho in the first half was quiet, couldn't get on the ball, couldn't really dictate the play. Second half, the brilliance of Vitinho showed up. But this sequence just highlights Hansi Flick ball. It's going to be chaotic. It's going to be good going forward. And yes, you're going to take some chances. You're going to take risks, but it's down then to the opponents to punish you. PSG punished them. They punished them. I mean, look at this. Look at this from PSG. The amount of space they allow in Nuno Mendes to a Hakimi. Those two fullbacks are just so vital in the way that Luis Enrique wants to play. Of course, Vitinha, Dembele are key, but if they didn't have Nuno Mendes and Hakimi, they want to be as a great team as they are right now. So yeah, this was suicidal to me. I don't understand it. And obviously Gonzalo Ramos, the guy can't do anything when he's starting. Oh, but off the bench, he's clutch. He always comes up with the clutch goals, Gonzalo Ramos. So yeah, great victory for PSG. A depleted PSG team. Yes, Barcelona were depleted before. Barcelona fans start crying in the comments. Yes, I know you were missing Rafinha, Fermin Lopez, and Johan Garcia, but I don't think Szczesny had a bad game. I don't think Szczesny could have done anything for the goals. Yeah, you can't have crazy takeaways. It wasn't like a UCL Classic because obviously they were missing quality, both teams, and it wasn't like the best of games compared to, what these two teams showcased last year. But I think it just shows you this PSG team, they are still the best team in Europe. I don't care what anybody says. You can say Arsenal, you can say all of this. PSG are still the best team in Europe. Until somebody knocks them off their perch, they will then not be champions. They will not be the kings of Europe. I mean, I just love players like Fabian Ruiz. I love players like Zabarni, like a Bacho, love Nuno Mendes, Toure, obviously Hakimi. They're just such good footballers. The technical ability of this PSG side is mesmerizing. And yeah, Luis Enrique just has this sort of identity with this team. He just sort of brings this confidence to a PSG side that maybe didn't have it 3 to 4 years ago when they had the superstars. He has just drilled into these players confidence. Whichever player steps onto the field, Gonzalo Ramos, Ikangen, when he came onto the field, almost scored a ridiculous goal, beating almost 5 Barcelona defenders. Great from him. So, yeah, great victory for PSG. They still own Barcelona. PSG is Papa de Barcelona. Barcelona, I still will say this. They are an amazing team. They have to be better defensively. Hansi Flick just needs to know when to drop the line, when to drop and be defensively a solid side. Once he does that, I think Barcelona have the personnel to just sort of sometimes sit back in a low block, right? That's what they need to do sometimes. Just be smart. Have good in-game management, not just from Hansi Flick, but also the players. from a Pedri. Obviously, Pedri came off the field, what was it, 70th minute? Yes, you can talk about the subs for Hansi Flick, but some of the players looked really tired heading into the 65th, 70th minute, so he had to take off some of the players. Yeah, I don't think you should be discouraged if you're a Barcelona fan. I mean, you lost to the best team in Europe. What can you do? What can you do? And yeah, PSG, great victory. They still own Barcelona at the time of recording. Lamine was good for 30 minutes, then just played shit. I wouldn't say shit, but I think he played okay-ish in the second half. Michael, you think Flick should have gone a bit more pragmatic? Yeah, he should have. He has the players to play a bit more of a counter-attacking style. That's what he should have done. I was watching PSG versus Barcelona with a girl. Shout out to you. And then I started glazing Nuno Mendes and then talking about how magical and stunning he is every time. She straight up, she said, I'm out. I'm done with the glazing. Glaze me instead. Well, pause. Almost not a Barcelona level player. I think that's harsh, to be honest. I think that's harsh on him. Same with Lee Kang-in. He's a really good super sub. Almost scored the game winner. Yeah, he was great when he came off the bench. There's a little bit of poetic justice here. The Barcelona players were focused on revenge rather than the result. To be honest, that 30 minutes of brilliance from them was more emotional than actually being better. No, they were better. They were better for 30 minutes. Then after 30 minutes, even game, then second half, PSG were dominant. Ramos is a good super sub. Great super sub. Great super sub. Don't start Lee and Ramos, but use them as super subs. Agreed. Although I think Lee Kang-in should have still started the game because I think the guy's baller. I want to see the golden skate. Man, you shout out to you, Anthony. Shout out to you. Michael, should we change our midfield stance depending on the formation? 2-man midfield, 3-man midfield? The best way for Barcelona is, I think you should have just played like sort of a double pivot in the second half. Take Dani Olmo off, play a Casado, play a De Jong, so then you have a bit more defensive stability with a Casado. Then play Pedri as the number 10. That should have been the way Hansi Flick should have approached that game, as he saw his team. They could not control the game. Vitinho was just getting too many times on the ball. Nuno Mendes and Hakimi are comfortable on the ball, so if you try and press them high up the field, you're not going to really beat them. You're not going to really win the ball high up the field. It worked for 30 minutes. But I think Hansi Flick just needs to work sometimes with just playing a double pivot. It doesn't always have to be Pedri De Jong. Play a De Jong, Casado, Pedri. Let's see that midfield. Let's see how that works. Yep, really good. Hey, look good. Three losses to PSG in a row when it comes to the UCL away games. Damn. I fell asleep during the game because I came home from school in the gym. Hey, to be honest, Ralph, I did fall asleep with about 40 minutes to go because I was exhausted, bro. I was exhausted. Then I rewatched the game this morning. Depending on the opponent. Yeah, I mean, you could play like a 4-4-2 against a Getafe. You could play like a 4-4-2 against an Elche, Oviedo, these sort of teams. But you're still going to have to kind of play a 4-3-3 formation, or tactically how you want to set up against a Bayern Munich, against a PSG. But you need to have a bit more defensive solidity in the midfield. And I mean, defensively, the team just couldn't win their tackles. Martin, Kubarsi, none of them could win their 50-50 battles. So I think that was a little bit of a demise for Barcelona yesterday as well. 15 matches played between PSG and Barcelona. 4 draws, 5 wins for Barca, and 6 wins for PSG. Barcelona feels like a team that lacks athleticism. Pedri De Jong is great on the ball, but it feels like in the later rounds of the UCL, it can come back as an issue. I think they have the athleticism. It's just maybe you're talking about like physicality, maybe that's what you're kind of talking about, physicality, but they have the intensity to play and they can run for 90 minutes. Run. But maybe the physical side, they don't really have in their team. Maybe they need an Araujo in the big games later on this season. But I will say this, Inigo Martinez was a massive loss. Massive loss because 1, he knows how to read the game. 2, he knows when to push high up the field. He knows where to have the defensive line. I think Inigo Martinez is a big loss. I will say that. But great victory for PSG. For Barcelona, I don't think you can be too discouraged about it. All right. Let's quickly look at the standings, people. So, what do I have here? What do I have it? I cannot quite see it, people. So who's top? Is that Bayern Munich are top of the Champions League? Then it's Real Madrid, PSG, Inter, Arsenal. and Qarabag are in 6th place right now. Stop the count, people. Stop the count. Stop the count. Qarabag are in 6th place right now. Crazy. And then you got Spurs. You got Atleti. Actually, let me go this way. That's better for me. That's better. Now I can see the whole standings. Obviously, Atleti, Newcastle, Marseille, Club Brugge, Sporting, Frankfurt, Barcelona, Liverpool, Chelsea. So, see, the big teams, some big teams are in the middle. Napoli, Royal Union, Galatasaray, Atalanta, Juventus, Bodo Glimt are just narrowly into the playoff. And the bottom teams, Leverkusen, Villarreal, PSV, FC Copenhagen, Olympiacos, Monaco, Slavia Praha, Pavos, Benfica. Wow, 32nd or 33rd. No, Benfica are 33rd, 34th are Athletic Club. And the two worst teams are Ajax and Kairat. My God, Ajax. You got to fix yourself. You got to fix yourself ASAP. But there we go, people. The recap for UCL Match Day 2. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Who was the biggest winners? Who were the biggest losers? Who was the best player for you of the week? Who was the worst player of the week? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And of course, if you love UCL content, predictions, reactions, remember to subscribe to the channel. Shout out to Samasi. Shout out to Invictus Maneo for becoming members of the channel. And most important thing is you hit the like button on your way out and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. But have a beautiful day. Stay safe in this crazy world. And until next time, adios.